What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you all today? Welcome back to Gaming with the JD. This is the JD, and usually I would be playing video games on my PS5 right now and, calling a wrestling match or playing whatever, but I figured I'd try something different, freshen this channel up a little bit. So I thought I'd give you all a slideshow today, but, it's not going to be about a lesson in anything. It's going to be about how 2021 actually has been the year of comebacks. So let's get started. And just so you guys know, I'm going to be talking about movies, TV shows, pro wrestling, anything in pop culture. If you haven't caught on yet, just know that there will be spoilers ahead. I say 2021 has absolutely been the year of returns because, that's basically what it is. I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff, a lot of returns in pop culture, in pro wrestling, and, some stuff we love, even from our childhoods, it goes all the way there. So let's talk about who and what have all come back this year. All right, first up on the list is iCarly, a legendary Nickelodeon show that we all grew up to. From 2007 to 2012, truly some of the best years in Nickelodeon history and for all our lives. Of course, starring the beautiful, talented Miranda Cosgrove, who we all know from her role as Megan Parker on Drake and Josh. And after Drake and Josh was over, we got to see the creation of iCarly. And truly, like I said before, from 2007 to 2012, some of the best years in Nickelodeon history, some of the best times to be a Nickelodeon and iCarly fan, because that show was the shit. And I mean, such good shit. I think what's even cooler is the fact that we got the show back this year. Even if it's not on Nickelodeon, it's on Paramount Plus exclusively. And on top of that, we got Miranda Cosgrove back. We got Nathan Kress back. We got Jerry Traynor back, as well as Mary Shearer, who played Mrs. Benson. Danielle Morrow, who played Nora Dershlit. Alongside new cast members as well. Jaden Triplett and Lacey Mosley, who play Harper and Millicent. Yeah. Even if not everyone from the original iCarly is there, it's still a hell of a show. It's still iCarly. It's just a more adult-oriented iCarly, where people start swearing and more sexual shit happens, if you know what I mean. But, of course, like I said, difference is this is on Paramount Plus and not Nickelodeon. It makes me sad that we don't get to see Sam and Gibby or Noah Monk and Jeanette McCurdy on the show. But like I said, we still get to see some of the original cast members from the old iCarly, the original iCarly, and some new cast members, Lacey and Jaden. And like I said, this streams now on Paramount Plus. Y'all, if you have Paramount Plus, you still got time to watch it. And it's only a matter of time, before the second season of the new iCarly comes out. And, I'm waiting for that day to come, anxiously. And here's to hoping for Creddy to become official once again on the new iCarly. All right, next up we have Alfred Molina reprising his role as the great Doc Ock, Dr. Octopus, in Spider-Man No Way Home. If you guys haven't seen the trailer for No Way Home yet, what the hell are you doing? Nah, I'm just kidding. But, in all seriousness, if you haven't watched the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, you are missing out. You have to watch it. And I'm basically talking to not just everybody, but to all my Spider-Man fans, my fellow Spider-Man fans. And, like I said before, I was born in 2000, so basically I grew up to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So that's why, he's my favorite. Of course, absolutely nothing against Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland. But Tobey Maguire will always be my favorite Spider-Man. And if you don't know, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the second movie, this man right here, this legendary man, Alfred Molina, played Doc Ock in the second Spider-Man movie that Tobey was in, right? And now, what do you know? It's the year 2021, and he's back. He's back in Marvel. He is back to playing Doc Ock. Doc Ock has been resurrected. But the question is, will we see more resurrections from past Spider-Man characters? I mean, We've got Alfred back. It seems crystal clear we're going to get, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin back. We pretty much have Jamie Foxx's Electro back. Could it be possible that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, their Spider-Men, will be back? As well as, other people like Emma Stone or James Franco or Kirsten Dunst, Are we going to see any of those guys from the past Spider-Man movies? Are we going to see them back in No Way Home? We can only find out. But brace yourselves, folks. Doc Ock is back. All right, next up we have Hayden Christensen reprising his role as Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars. Now, I literally just heard about this very recently, and I was actually really shocked and surprised to know that Hayden will be returning as Anakin in the Star Wars franchise. If I'm not mistaken, I heard he'll be coming back as Anakin in Ahsoka. I want to say Ahsoka on Disney Plus. If I'm not mistaken, I also might have heard Ewan McGregor. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but I heard would possibly be coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi for another Disney Plus exclusive. Forgive me, I haven't looked much into Star Wars, but basically this is for all my fellow, Star Wars fans. You know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I was born in the 2000s. I wasn't born when the original Star Wars movies came out, but anyone who watched, the first 3 episodes, I'm talking like Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, those 3 episodes right there. You basically know who Anakin Skywalker is, wouldn't you? And the fact that Hayden Christensen is returning as Anakin gives me absolute fucking goosebumps. And if McGregor happens to be returning as Obi-Wan Kenobi, then that too also gives me goosebumps, because those two are probably like my favorite characters in Star Wars. And to see them come back is absolutely fucking legendary. May the Force be with y'all. All right, more on the subject of old movie film characters coming back this year, right? Let's talk about Thomas Ian Griffith reprising his role as Terry Silver. Now, Terry Silver, if you guys don't know, was actually part of the third Karate Kid movie, where he played one of the main villains and basically tried to train Daniel, or I guess tricking him, into getting himself hurt before the All Valley tournament so that he could lose to Mike Barnes. And yeah, he was a real devious guy, I'll tell you right now. But he really had Danny Boy fooled into thinking he was his, sensei. Like he was going to actually help him train for the tournament if Mr. Miyagi wasn't going to do so himself. But Terry Silver, as we know, obviously a big part of the Karate Kid franchise, one of the main villains of the third movie, will now be making his return to Cobra Kai Season 4. And, he said it best. Thomas Ian Griffith himself said it best. Terry Silver's back, so look out. But, I for one cannot wait to see what Terry Silver does in Cobra Kai Season 4. If you watch the trailer, you'll know exactly what happens. If you haven't seen the trailer, then again, what the hell are you doing? Nah, I'm just playing. But in all seriousness, it's going to be amazing to see Terry Silver in Cobra Kai. I mean, again, I wasn't born in the 80s, but I've heard so much about the Karate Kid franchise and Terry Silver being one of the main antagonists of the third Karate Kid movie. So it should be really interesting, all these years that have gone by, and to see what happens with Terry Silver in Cobra Kai Season 4. And I have a feeling he's going to want to sweep the legs of all his enemies. And as they say in Cobra Kai, Strike first, strike hard, and show no mercy. Terry Silver's back. A little more on Cobra Kai. Could it be possible that we see not just Terry Silver, but Julie Pierce, played by Hilary Swank? Could she be in store for Cobra Kai Season 4? Could we see her come back to the Karate Kid franchise, or the Miyagi-verse as they call it? We don't know. I mean, if you ask me, I would most definitely hope to see her back. I would love to see her in Cobra Kai. I mean, if, Ralph Macchio and the beautiful Mary Mauser approve of Hilary Swank being in Cobra Kai, I'm down for it too. Why the hell not, right? Julie Pierce, Cobra Kai? Hey, we'll just have to wait and see. All right, next up we have the Peacemaker himself, John Cena, returning to WWE for the first time in over a year at Money in the Bank, confronting the so-called Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Now, I know I said before I stopped watching WWE, but anything John Cena gets me excited. And when I had heard that he came back, I was actually really, really excited. I mean, so maybe I don't watch anymore WWE, but still, like I said, anything John Cena gets me excited. I was really bummed, though, to find out that he lost to Roman Reigns. I mean, I know it was blatantly obvious he was going to lose, but I don't want to keep saying that because I fucking hate Roman Reigns. And I've supported John Cena my whole life. But it was great to know that he came back this year. Not a single John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks, that kind of thing. At least not that I know of. We haven't seen John in over a year since he fought The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, at WrestleMania 36 in the Firefly Funhouse match. And while he has accomplished many great things in WWE, one thing I don't understand still to this day is, why hasn't John Cena won the Intercontinental Championship? I would hope that before he officially retires that he wins that title, whether I'm watching WWE or not. But regardless, John Cena came back. All right, next up we have the man, Becky Lynch, returning to WWE for the first time in over a year, just like John Cena did at Money in the Bank. Difference is, Becky came back at SummerSlam. Now, while I am happy that Becky came back after over a year, what doesn't make me happy, just like everybody else who watched SummerSlam that night, I mean, I didn't even watch this year, but I heard about this. What pisses me off is the fact that Becky Lynch, when she came back, she beat Bianca Belair in 26 seconds. Now, I know Becky, the last time she was in WWE, she was a champion, and she just wanted to win a championship when she came back, and she wanted to turn heel. I get that, but to do it at the expense of Bianca Belair, who worked her ass off this whole year to get to where she's at, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania main event, and then she loses it all in 26 seconds. That pisses me the hell off. Now, again, I understand Becky wants to come back as a heel, but if it were me in charge of booking Becky Lynch's heel run or return, I would have her win the Raw Women's Championship because that's the title she never lost. And I would have her beat Nikki Cross, to win the title back. And I wouldn't wish that upon Nikki. I'm just saying, if it were me in charge of booking Becky's return, have her beat Nikki Cross. So, in summary, this leaves me at a 50-50 as far as Becky's return. While I am happy to have her back, what doesn't make me happy is beating Bianca Belair, if that makes any sense. But regardless, whether people love her or hate her, Becky Lynch is back. All right, next up we have Ghostbusters Afterlife, coming up this November, I want to say. Yeah, in a couple weeks' time. But in that movie, we're going to see Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, and Dan Aykroyd reprise their roles as their respective characters from the original Ghostbusters films in Ghostbusters Afterlife. It makes me sad to know that Harold Ramis, unfortunately, is no longer with us. But if he was, I'm sure he would love to reprise his role as well. But I'm sure that this movie will be dedicated to him and honor his legacy. But I haven't seen the Ghostbusters movies in a decade. But I actually got the chance to see the two Ghostbusters movies, the original movies, when I was on a trip to London a decade ago to visit my cousin Christian. And he actually showed me and the rest of my family the two Ghostbusters movies. And I loved them. I loved the movies. And the fact that we get to see, those three original Ghostbusters and two of the other original characters reprise their roles, it's going to be exciting. As if 2021 couldn't get any better. Ghostbusters are back. All right, for this next one, nobody told me, life was going to be this way. But next up, we got the Friends reunion. How cool is it? We got to see Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, David Schwimmer, Matthew Perry, and Matt LeBlanc all come together for a special Friends reunion for one time only. And the Friends reunion, which you can now watch on HBO Max, it was cool to see a lot of people take part in this. It was great that we had so many fond memories to live and reminisce about. However, what's not so good now is the fact that James Michael Tyler, who played Gunther on Friends, is no longer with us as he unfortunately passed away recently. James, I dedicate this slide to you, my friend. Love you, miss you. Just know that your legacy will always live on in Friends forever and ever. None of that would be possible without you, buddy. We love you. 2021 Friends reunion. We are all glad you got to be a part of it. And you will live on in our hearts forever and ever. Next up, we have Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy, the definitive edition. Now, for all you GTA fans out there, this is pretty much the game for you. I mean, growing up, I haven't played much GTA, please forgive me. But I just started playing GTA 5 in February, if not for my cousin, Master Dimes, introducing me to GTA 5, as well as the Lamar Rose Franklin meme. And if not for any of that, I wouldn't be playing GTA 5 right now. But I didn't even play much of the 3 games we're going to see in the trilogy growing up. I know in the trilogy we're going to get Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. San Andreas was the one I played a little bit the most, more than the other 2. But the fact that we all get to, relive the glory days of Grand Theft Auto in honor of the 20th anniversary of the 3rd game is really effing cool. And GTA Definitive Edition Trilogy, releases soon. Digital edition releases November 11th. And by December, physical editions of the game will be released. So how cool is it for all you GTA fans out there, especially me? I mean, I'm hoping to get this game for Christmas, so it's going to be wild, man. All right, next up is the beautiful AJ Lee, returning to pro wrestling. Who would have thought? She retired in 2015, but now 2021, she's back working for the Women of Wrestling promotion. Now, honestly, while I am happy that she's back in pro wrestling, just like her husband CM Punk, it's one thing I will say, obviously, that does make me happy is the fact that she's not in AEW. And trust me, I know AEW signing too many former WWE talent, if they keep doing that, it's going to create a lot of problems. But basically, you know what I mean. The bad thing about AJ Lee not going to AEW is that her and Punk are not on TV together. And on top of that, AJ isn't wrestling still. She might be back in wrestling, but unfortunately she won't be stepping inside the ring. More so, she's taking on a producer kind of thing, if I'm not mistaken. But that's okay. Regardless, AJ Lee's back in pro wrestling. You can never go wrong with that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what she does in Women of Wrestling. And here's to hoping one day, wishful thinking, she'll be all elite just like her husband. Speaking of AEW, the next we have on the list is the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, who made a very, very tremendous debut at AEW All Out this past September. And how cool, because before he came to AEW, Bryan hasn't wrestled since April 30th in WWE when he lost to Roman Reigns. And if you guys don't remember, that night on SmackDown, it was Bryan and Reigns one-on-one for the Universal title, whereas the stipulation was, had Bryan lost, he would be banished from WWE. And I was watching that match hoping and praying and rooting for Bryan, in the hopes that he would win the championship, because while a lot of people may love Roman Reigns for whatever reason, I don't. I don't give two shits about Roman Reigns. So I was hoping that Bryan was going to capture the Universal title, right? But next thing you know, he lost. And he was banished from WWE thanks a lot to Roman Reigns. And after watching that moment right there and seeing what Roman did, Roman is the reason I stopped watching WWE. So thanks a lot, Years of childhood memories all gone thanks to Borman Lames. But at the same time, Bryan is in AEW now and the American Dragon is back, because we haven't heard the American Dragon Bryan Danielson name in so long, because that nickname, that character never really existed in WWE, because in WWE it was all about Daniel Bryan. But now the American Dragon is back in pro wrestling and he is in AEW and he is officially all elite, just like this last pick that we're going to talk about and get right into. All right, last but most certainly not least on the list, the best in the world, CM Punk, makes his return, his long-awaited return to pro wrestling for the first time in 7 fucking years. Man, this still gives me goosebumps. I still can't fucking believe this happened. I mean, who would have thought in the year 2021 CM Punk would come back to pro wrestling? This right here is like the ultimate stamp of 2021 being the year of comebacks. Like, you never thought this would happen, but it did. Didn't think it was possible, but it was. CM Punk coming back to pro wrestling, oh my God, I'm still fucking ecstatic, man. It still gives me butterflies in my stomach. I still can't believe it. It gets me fucking excited to know that my idol, my favorite, CM Punk, our Second City savior, our straight edge hero, is back in professional wrestling. We thought that he had this passion stooped out 7 years ago. We thought that thanks to the sports entertainment industry, he no longer had a pro wrestling passion. But thanks to Tony Khan and AEW, this passion was brought back. It was given back to CM Punk. And who would have thought that in the year 2021, CM Punk would be in a ring again, that he would be wrestling again? I never would have thought it'd happen again, but it did, and thank God. And thank you, CM Punk, for giving us what we all wanted and for gracing us with your presence in the pro wrestling world again. You are really a humble guy, and you have had so many great matches in AEW. Well, I mean, just a couple, you know what I'm talking about, but it's only a matter of time before, you have more matches and you hopefully win that beautiful AEW World Heavyweight title one day. But here's to more success in All Elite Wrestling for you, Punk, if you're watching. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, who would have thought that in the year 2021, CM Punk would return to professional wrestling? Hey, that wouldn't be possible if it weren't for Tony Khan and if it weren't for AEW. Because if there was no such thing as AEW, CM Punk wouldn't have came back. But thank you, Punk, thank you, Tony, and thank you, AEW, for giving us the best in the world back. Because it's Clobberin time for the best in the fucking world. And of course, I can't forget, happy birthday to CM Punk, 43 years old. Wow. CM Punk really looks good for his age, so maybe he hasn't been in the ring in so long, but hey, ever since he's been back, he's been fucking killing it inside the squared fucking circle. And hey, man, Christian Cage said it best. It's a big fucking deal that you're here, Punk. So, Punk, if you're watching this, just know, love you, support you, you're my idol, you're my hero, bro. I'm really, really, really happy to see you back inside the ring. Happy birthday, Punk. It's Clobberin time. And have the best birthday today in the world. Now, once again, guys, I say 2021 has been the year of returns because that's exactly what it's been. A lot of stuff we love, from pop culture to pro wrestling, whatever it is, you know, a lot of things from those, those categories have all come back this year. We've seen a lot of people come back. We've seen a lot of things come back. I mean, everything, you know, like I said in this slideshow, from CM Punk to Bryan Danielson, AJ Lee, the GTA Definitive Trilogy, the Friends Reunion, you know, it goes on and on and on. And there truly is no better year than 2021, I will say. I mean, of course, I hope for a better 2022, even if we're still living in a pandemic, but that's my theory, you know. The reason why we're getting all these returns in 2021 is to get people's minds off the pandemic, because, you know, 2020 was blatant hell, but 2021 has been better. Even if we're still living in a pandemic, and I know it's hard, believe me, but, you know, Kenny Omega said best, he said it best last year, we all need some positivity. And what has been more positive than all these returns we've gotten this year that you've seen on this list? And I know I might be missing a few. Please forgive me if I am. And if I am missing some stuff that you know of, please let me know what I'm missing in the comments. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Once again, I know I'm used to playing video games, but you know, on this channel, that's why it's called Gaming with the JD. But thought I'd try something new for once. Freshen up the channel a little bit, if you will. So yeah, first non-gaming video on this channel is about 2021 being the year of returns, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. So if you liked the video, please, you know, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much, you know, for watching and listening. And trust me, I'm going to have more videos on the way for y'all. And I definitely will not stop making these kinds of videos. I will see what more I can do as far as subjects pertaining to slideshows. I'll see what kinds more I can make. But thank y'all again for watching, and here's to a better 2022, even though it's not the end of the year yet. But still, folks, stay safe and healthy out there.